Floyd is so much of Disney history. I think of all the films that he's worked on, he just continues to inspire.
He draws you in, pun intended.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ezra Edmond, Content Marketing Manager of Diversity and Inclusion at Disney Digital Content.
And I'm Fox Carney, the Manager of Research at the Walt Disney Animation Research Library.
And today we are so excited to celebrate the work of Disney legend Floyd Norman, who was an in-betweener, animator, and story artist at Walt Disney Animation Studios.
Floyd's one of my favorite people to talk about because he's such an amazing artist. He's such an amazing storyteller, and he's just a generally great guy to hang out with.
I totally agree. I love seeing him, back when we used to be in person on campus. I love seeing all the art that he still does and hearing his stories whenever I can. So, Fox, when did Floyd first join Walt Disney Animation Studios, and can you share any stories about what brought him there, what his experience was like?
Well, Floyd came to the studio in February 1956. He always wanted to be an animator at Walt Disney ever since he first saw his first Disney film, which was Bambi.
So then, just turning to his career, I'd love to talk about some of the features that Floyd worked on. Let's start with Sleeping Beauty and his role as an in-betweener.
The role of an in-betweener put the drawings in between various key drawings, trying to clean up the lines of rough animation into fine lines so that the inkers could trace that onto cells. He said he was assigned to a lot of different characters. The fairies he remembers working on a lot.
So at one point, Floyd leaves the animation studio for military service and then returns. Can you talk to me about some of the titles he was a part of when he returned? Like 101 Dalmatians and his role as an assistant animator.
Well, he worked on quite a number of scenes in the Cruella car chase. And he said that was an interesting process because they would film models of cars and trucks, and then they would actually print out the frames of those films, and then they'd have to trace those onto the paper. And
he also worked on, if I remember correctly, he worked on the Thunderbolt sequence too, right?
Yeah, I believe so, that he worked on a lot of that. So it's working on TV in a feature film.
So The Sword and the Stone and his role as an assistant animator.
Well, The Sword and the Stone was a very important film for Floyd because he was assigned to work on the team of Milt Kahl, one of Disney's 9 old men. It was very hard to please Milt. So Floyd was very, very worried that would he live up to the Milt Kahl standard. His first scene working with that unit was a scene of Sir Kay when Sir Kay is hunting in the woods. There's a specific scene of Sir Kay saying, "Shh, quiet." When he finished, he handed up the chain of command and word came back. Milt liked it. After Sword in the Stone, he ended up transitioning into story.
But then on The Jungle Book, with his role as a story artist, he was able to work with the Sherman brothers and so many other iconic, historic, amazing figures.
The whole key was just get those ideas down. He wasn't trying to draw beautiful drawings, but just get a strong idea and tell the story.
Some of the cost sequences are some of the most memorable parts of the film.
Well, that very first sequence that was presented to Walt, Walt's response was, "I think we could use a song here. Yeah, go talk to the Shermans. Have them write you a song."
I believe that through his career, he also acted as a consultant. Could you talk about a few of those features that he consulted on?
He was working on films such as The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Mulan. Particular sequence where Quasimodo is looking to leave Notre Dame. He jumps away and down and out of the cathedral. Later with Mulan, he's working on a sequence of Mulan getting off to camp once she's trying to join with the army. Mushu has got to wake her up and get her going.
I think story is just incredible because you're taking an idea, a concept that doesn't exist, and you're making something relatable that people can feel and emote to, and you have to have that observant eye and that passion to tell something that really is meaningful and deeper to resonate. And I think that that's something that Floyd is just absolutely incredible at. Floyd is so much of Disney history. And I know when I started working on the Glendale campus and I would see him everywhere, and I always wanted to be an animator and story person when I was a kid, and seeing a guy who did it and can speak to so many historical things that you can only hear about in books otherwise is incredible.
Everything he shares just has that sort of sparkle.
Fox, it's been really great connecting with you today in this special conversation honoring Floyd Norman. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, it was my pleasure. I love to talk about Floyd any day.
Watch all of these Walt Disney Animation Studios titles streaming now on Disney+.